Welcome to the Guard Center training course for the Verint Edge VMS platform. By the end of this module, the student will learn how to set up and use virtual DVRs, zones, and tours in the VidCenter application. Learn how to license, activate, and set up Guard Center. And we will display how each monitor within a Guard Center wall may be used. As we know, in addition to bank branches, bank properties also consist of corporate locations with a full security operations center in which the video system may be utilized. Live video management is often more the concern for a control center in these cases, and Verint provides several ways to make this easier. A licensed feature within VidCenter is called Guard Center, which allows a virtual matrix-like environment to be controlled with mouse and keyboard, as well as joystick controller. Multiple monitors may be used to display live video from target areas within a corporate campus or building. Live alert monitoring and integration with system-like access control and surveillance analytics may direct the user's attention when special events occur. To properly lay the foundations for Guard Center, we first must discuss virtual DVRs, zones, and guard tours. A virtual DVR is a collection of physical DVRs that are treated as a single device. With a single click and login, many DVRs or NVRs can be connected to simultaneously. This allows the user to view and query video, as well as control cameras from any units without having to disconnect and reconnect. One of two methods can be used to create a virtual DVR. First, one could use the virtual DVR wizard. And second, a user could save a set of connected NVRs or DVRs as virtual DVR. Each of these we'll review in the video demo. As well, a user can begin using other features, such as zones and guard tours. Zones are groups of cameras that make it very easy to save and pull up video from those groups. Guard tours make it even easier to pull up video and create automated series of live video layouts. First, let's check out a short clip reviewing virtual DVRs. We begin this video with the VidCenter application already opened. First, let's connect to a single site. We can see here when the Connections option is selected in Task Center, the Task Actions window shows we're connected to the physical DVR. But what we also see is a temporary virtual DVR has automatically been created for us. Each time one or more physical DVRs has been connected to, a virtual DVR is created. This temporary virtual DVR is only used while this session of connectivity is established. Once we disconnect, like this, the virtual DVR is lost. Now let's connect again, this time to 2 NVRs. As mentioned previously, there's no real limit to the number of sites you can connect to simultaneously. In the Task Actions window, we highlight the first site and hold the Control button on the keyboard to highlight the second site. Be careful here, because we cannot use the right-click and connect option to connect to the units. We must use the Connect button in either the Task Action toolbar or the main toolbar at the top. With the 2 sites highlighted, click on Connect. The first thing we should note is that for multiple physical NVRs, there is still one virtual DVR, in this case, a temporary virtual DVR. If we select Live Video and then expand the directory, we can click and drag several cameras from both locations. Click Stop Download and Clear Cameras. As well, we can choose to review recorded video and choose our view. Notice in the drop-down, we could select one of the full NVRs to which we're connected, or we could choose any of the cameras from any of the NVRs in the Custom Cameras setup. By double-clicking, we'll select a few cameras. The main limitation here is we can include up to 16 cameras in the view. Click OK and we can pull up the video as we normally would, either by date and time, at a glance, etc. Let's imagine we want to save this virtual DVR, or group of physical DVRs, to connect to at any time in the future. There are 2 primary ways to create a virtual DVR. If we already have a temporary virtual DVR created, by connecting to the group of units, we can just save it as is. Select Connections, and in the Task Actions toolbar, click on the button called Save Virtual DVR. Enter a name for the new virtual DVR and click OK. Now disconnect and notice in the directory tree the newly saved virtual DVR. Alternatively, to create a new virtual DVR, the user could create a new virtual DVR while not connected to any units. Within the Task Actions toolbar, click on Create a new virtual DVR. Enter a name for the virtual DVR and click OK. We can just click and drag any NVR into the newly created virtual DVR. To connect, the user can simply right-click on the virtual DVR and connect. Finally, one can right-click on the virtual DVR name and select Edit. This will open an entire dialog box that allows the user to add DVRs, as well as create and edit zones and guard tours. Next, we'll review working with zones or groups of cameras. Already connected to a virtual DVR with multiple physical NVRs, let's assume there is a set of cameras we want to pull up in a more simplified way. Using Live Video, expand the directory tree and click and drag several cameras from multiple sites. Live Video will begin to load. Stop the download. Now, click on Save as Zone in the Video window toolbar. Enter the name for the new zone and click OK. Clear the cameras and compress the directory tree to see the new zone. Expanding the new zone will show the list of cameras included. Let's try this one more time. This time, let's configure the zone with a specific layout. As a default, the video window may already be in a specific layout. But often it is defaulted to Auto Camera Layout, which simply means the cameras, when added into the window, will display as large and wherever they can fit, up to 16 windows. From the drop-down, we'll select a layout that makes more sense for the number of cameras we want to show in the zone. We'll add a number of cameras, again choosing cameras from each of the locations. Notice we can place cameras in whatever video window we would like in order to build the correct layout for the zone. Once completed placing cameras, select Save as Zone. Enter a name for the new zone and click OK. Keep in mind, many zones can be created, so let's use another method to create another zone. In the Task Actions toolbar, select Create New Zone. As it is already highlighted, let's give it a functional name to describe the cameras we would place into the zone. From here, we can either just click and drag cameras from the camera tree into the new zone, or we can right-click on the zone itself and select Edit. This opens the Virtual DVR Editor dialog box we saw earlier, defaulted to the Zones tab. Here at the top is the drop-down for the list of zones. With the correct zone selected, we can then simply double-click on each camera we want to move into the zone. We could select multiple cameras and click on the arrow to move them into the zone. Also notice in the upper right, the Layout Options drop-down list is also available. As shown previously, we can select from the list that best holds the layout for this number of cameras. Keep in mind, we can have a total of 16 cameras per zone. Once complete, click on Done to save the zone changes. Now, viewing video becomes much easier by clicking and dragging the zone into the View window. As well, querying recorded video from zones is simplified. In Recorded Video and Choose View, notice the zones are now available to choose. Selecting this option allows for an investigation to quickly query a period of time from all of the cameras in the zone. Before we continue into Guard Center, we should review Guard Tours. Guard Tours are simply a means to switch between zones, groups of cameras, in an easy-to-use interface. Starting off with VidCenter already connected to a virtual DVR with multiple physical DVRs, we see here in Live View there are already several zones created. A user must click and drag the zone into the video window to view the cameras. However, in the Task Actions toolbar, there is an option called Guard View. Clicking on Guard View changes the software a bit to allow for much easier functionality, and it exposed the Guard Tour functions. Notice now, simply clicking once on any of the zones causes that zone to be displayed in the video window. One click causes the change. Additionally, notice that whatever zone layout was chosen during configuration is the layout that is currently being displayed. Next, click on Choose Tour and Guard Tour Manager. The Guard Tour Manager dialog box is displayed. At the bottom, click Add Tour and give the new tour a name. At the bottom again, click on Add Zones and select each zone to be added to the tour. Notice you can use the Shift button or Control button to select multiple zones at one time. Click Select, and those zones will be added into the tour. Expand the newly created Guard Tour and adjust each zone's dwell time. This is the time this zone will be displayed before it automatically moves on to the next zone. Click Done to finish the setup. Now click the Choose Tour to select the newly created tour. Below, click the Start Tour button. Notice the timer below the zone name starts counting down. The zones will automatically switch as the timer reaches 0. In the taskbar, the user can also choose to pause the tour, skip forward or back, or stop the tour altogether. To get back into the regular live view, click on the Guard View button again. Now we turn to the application called Guard Center, in which video walls can be automatically called up with the click of a button. To demonstrate the basic setup of the Guard Center video wall, we first need to ensure this VidCenter workstation is properly licensed and activated. We go to the Help menu and select Licensing and Activation. This is where one would go to enter the appropriate serial number and license file provided after purchase. Once entered, the license file shows the features list, which includes the number of Guard Center monitors. The Guard Center interface can be opened in two ways: either via the File menu and select Guard Center Manager, or simply click on the Guard Center icon in the main toolbar. If not licensed, both options will be seen but will be grayed out. In the Guard Center Manager, we may see a list of video walls already created. We'll choose one and click on Edit to see how it is configured. Of course, we can call the video wall anything that makes it easier for the user to identify in the list. Typically, this may be a shift name or a specific person signifying ownership. Near the top of the setup box is a button called Identify Monitors. When there are multiple monitors plugged into the workstation, it can be confusing to identify each, logically for the system. Clicking here displays a large number for about 5 seconds for proper monitor identification. Now that we know which monitor is which, we can observe how each display is configured. First, be sure to enable the monitor if it is to be part of the video wall. We also can choose to start the wall in full screen mode, and that option is available for each monitor. Next, we configure the video matrix pieces. On the left, we first enable Matrix and choose which virtual DVR will be used. Click the drop-down to select. From this selection, the tour, zone, and layout options will be made available. On the right, we see additional options. We can choose what percentage of the monitor will be used for the following popover panels. Daily video log, which allows the viewer to quickly compare a reference image to the live video to verify the field of view has not changed. We can activate Facility Maps, which enables a portion of the monitor to be used to display video from the Maps option in VidCenter. And finally, Instant Alert Video, which is probably one of the most used features in popover panels. By configuring the maximum number of cameras displayed in the Alert Video panel, new alerts will pop up in the popover window and old alerts will cycle off the screen. Keep in mind an ongoing alert list continues to be available back in the Instant Alert pane in VidCenter. We can also choose the amount of time the camera will stay in the alert section. Finally, in the Instant Alert Monitor Priority box, we can enter a number for each monitor, designating what priority that particular monitor has. Once completed in the configuration, click OK to save. Back in the Guard Center Manager, we start the video wall by highlighting the new video wall and clicking on the So Named button. For demonstration purposes, we're only able to show the single monitor view. From within the video wall, bring the mouse to the top of the screen to expose the standard Guard Center toolbox. Starting in the far upper left, there's a pinup option that allows the user to lock the toolbar into place. Continuing on from top left, clicking on the camera icon displays the list of cameras. At any point in time, the user can click and drag any camera or zone into the windows. Click on the camera icon again to toggle it off, or click the X in the upper right corner. Next, there's an option to toggle on and off the Instant Alert video if applicable to the specific monitor. If configured, the daily video log option is available as well. And as mentioned, when activated, this gives the user the availability to compare reference image to current live video. As well, the user can accept or reject the image as needed. Moving on, there's a button to clear all cameras from the video window. Note, even if a guard tour is in process, this option will clear all cameras from the monitor, and nothing will show until Guard Center is given new instructions. Next, we move into the Zone and Guard Tour drop-down menus to quickly change to specific videos of interest. Additionally, one can choose a different static layout if desired. Closing out the last two buttons, we have a special settings button, which allows the user to choose to maintain aspect ratio. This becomes more apparent when viewing megapixel cameras with 16:9 aspect ratios. This is simply a toggle button turning the aspect ratios on or off. The Remove Timestamp option allows the user to free up even more real estate within Guard Center to be used for video. Notice the timestamp within each window is either displayed or not depending on this setting. Finally is the Full Screen button. Clicking here then exposes the desktop behind the video wall. This option is not really needed unless the original VidCenter application resides on this monitor, as shown. To turn off the video wall from within the original VidCenter application, again click on the Guard Center Manager icon. Click on Stop Video Wall. What's interesting here is even with Guard Center attached to potentially many NVRs across the network, the original VidCenter application does not have to be connected to any NVRs. This is part of the design. From a single workstation with 4 monitors, the Guard Center video wall can be pushed to perhaps 3 of the monitors for live viewing. Yet the actual user can still use the VidCenter application on the 4th monitor to perform investigations on their own desktop VidCenter. In summary, we have reviewed how to set up and use virtual DVRs, zones, and tours in the VidCenter application, how to license, activate, and set up Guard Center, and we've reviewed how each monitor within a Guard Center wall may be used. Thank you. You have successfully completed this module.